Welcome to the Pregame Show.
Running through these towns, kicking psychedelic sounds. I leave my heart down on the ground. Since I don't have you around, I'll grab a bottle off the shelf and go and drink it by myself. Say you wanna talk it out, well I don't think I need your help. Think I'm better off alone. I made my whole run on the road. I won't spend my lonely nights talking on the telephone. I find a girl at every show, but I will never let you know how much I regret the past and why watching you go, because hearts ain't smart, they're built for fools. They fall apart and let you break all your rules. It'll make you choose between a bottle and the blues. But my heart can't seem to forget about you. Can't forget about you. Last 3 months, like a doggy on a chain, I got my heart off your leash, but you still infect my brain, so now I'm running round in circles, cause I can't forget the pain, like 1,000 shiny daggers every time I hear your name, so I have to get control of my body and my soul. I pick my heart up off the floor like I had you twice before. Should've cared a little less, we should've loved a little more. Now we both regret the past as we're walking out the door, because hearts ain't smart, they're built for fools. They fall apart and let you break all your rules. It'll make you choose between a bottle and the blues. But my heart can't seem to forget about you. Can't forget about
Welcome in, Vikings fans, to the Scene Project Sports Network. This is our Minnesota Vikings pregame show. I am your host, Bubba Startz. With me, as always, Coach Cody's in the building. Coach, how we feeling today?
Feeling good. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone else tuning in.
Yeah, what a wild start to the year already. A lot of injury talk, obviously a lot of Brian Flores talk in Vikings world right now. This is the last game of the season, and we were just talking off camera about how some small things, right? You know, a loss instead of a tie for Green Bay, and this game has serious playoff implications, or one more win during the Vikings season, right? Like so many things, but here we are, and the season, you know, being out of the playoffs for the last several weeks, but this team has been playing, I'd say, good ball, competent ball, at least. You know, the Christmas Day game was something to behold in a lot of different ways, but this team's on a winning streak, and I think it means something, at least to the players inside of that Vikings locker room today, to continue that streak and to keep building towards next season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The mindset of a player in general should be just, be to win, to elevate your game, be the best that you can be, and to come out with that dub at the end of the day. And, just how this season has gone, how it started, the middle and now the end of it, and to be in a position where, we're 8-8, could finish above 500. Like you mentioned earlier, had the Packers lost that game earlier in the season instead of a tie, this game actually means something. If we don't mess up that debacle on special teams in Chicago, that means something. This game means something. It's crazy. It's the little things, though. Every play matters, every snap, play until the whistle, because now we're looking back like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, good morning to our boy
Good morning.
Jer. Hey man, and good luck to your Lions, brother, when they take on the Bears for their last game of the season. And there we go. That's right. That's right, brother. Well, we appreciate you tuning in. Before we get into the rest of the show, we got Coach's keys to the game. We're obviously going to talk about implications moving forward. Is this Brian Flores' last game on the Vikings sideline? A lot to talk about yet, even though this game in the scope of the playoffs doesn't really mean anything. Before we get into all of that, we're going to go a quick word from our sponsors at Pillars of Valor Coffee, and we're going to come back and talk some more ball with you. As we cheer on our Minnesota Vikings, let's also recognize true heroes. Pillars of Valor Coffee isn't just about exceptional taste. It's a veteran-owned company with a powerful mission. With every purchase, you're directly contributing to programs that empower and support veterans and first responders. Imagine starting your day with a rich, bold coffee that also fuels a vital cause. Pillars of Valor Coffee is dedicated to making a tangible impact, honoring those who've served our nation and communities. Join them in their mission. Visit pillarsofvalor.com to learn more and get your bag today. Pillars of Valor Coffee. Great coffee, greater purpose. Yeah, so as we said, this game is between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. It will be a home game for the Vikings at US Bank Stadium. A huge shout out to our partners at Pillars of Valor. We appreciate their support and everything that we're doing and look forward to a long-lasting partnership with them. I'm going to throw their link up in the comments everywhere right now so you guys can check that link out and go see them. Appreciate everything that they do for us and supporting us. Oh, I got a new hat in the mail too. Check this out. I'll wear this for the show. Booyah. Got my Pillars of Valor hat now. I am official, guys. That's what's in my cup. That's what's going to be here coming soon as well. So, yeah, obviously with them, they're very involved with what goes on during the season. Vikings tight end TJ Hawkinson is part owner of Pillars of Valor. So, founder Zach Husted spends a lot of time at the stadium and kind of around and in that world during the season. So we're looking forward to, as the season comes to a close here today, doing a lot more with them and getting out together in the community. I think that's kind of like the most exciting part for me working with them, is so much of my life has been spent around events, right? As a musician, and obviously our parent network, the Scene Projects, is really focused on the entertainment world. And that's where I feel like I can bring a lot of value to great companies like Pillars of Valor. So Coach, we're going to get you one of these here soon. So yeah, well, shout out Big B in the chat today. He's got the link. I know he's probably, you guys are always working, doing something. So
yeah.
Appreciate B. And he brings up a good point I mean, that's number one on the docket today, right? We got to get Justin Jefferson that 1,000 yards, feeding him the ball. And I think that's the most exciting part about having JJ McCarthy starting today rather than Max Brosmer. No offense to, former Golden Gopher quarterback Max Brosmer, but we have a mission today, and that's to make sure that the leader of this team gets these, individual accomplishments out of the way, right? Like he deserves it in every way. He's been the consummate professional all season. You haven't heard him bitch and moan one single time about not getting the ball and things. So yeah, that's definitely what we got to do.
Yeah, no, if anything, that's should be key point number one. And he's been
two and three.
yeah, basically. And it's sad that we have to come to this, that it's had to come to this, to the point where we're looking for a quarterback that can just get 53 passing yards. Like, let's
Well,
just be.
and JJ McCarthy was on the was on track, playing much better. The Dallas game, I think, was a real kind of coming out party. You saw his personality coming out a little bit with the gritty into the end zone on the quarterback keeper. You saw the things that, as a fan who, are JJ, I don't want to say apologists, but big JJ fans, and were high on the kid coming in, that you saw those things. You saw a little bit of that attitude, and you're still talking about a very young man. I mean, he's so baby faced, right? 22 years old still, and doing a lot here. You know what? I haven't heard of Jared brings up thing. Heard Justin Jefferson and his girlfriend are expecting. I had not heard that a little bit. I'm not tuned into all the social aspects of the team, sadly. But, I know the other JJ had a baby, and TJ Hawkinson just had one too. So there's a baby fever around the Vikings organization in the last 12 months.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's an exciting time though. But also can, somewhat be a distraction, because, you want to be there for your family, and, you still want to perform at the highest level. And, with adding an extra life into the world, precious life into the world, you're not going to be able to spend as much time on film and dedicated to a certain amount of a workout routine. But, if he is, I'm happy for him. It's always nice and an exciting time, just, bringing a life into the world.
Right. And I think that's a little bit of an overlooked thing, is that, as because it's their job, and it's, they get paid a lot of money to go out there and to play a game, that we forget that they're still human beings that face all those same challenges. It is no different for them, even though they have some more of the comforts, right? They're making a lot more money than you or I, so they don't have the same worries, but you're still going through a pregnancy with your significant other. And like you said, bringing in this new life and all the things that, I know you're a parent, and I have my 3 kids as well, that stress and anxiety, especially if it's your first one. And for a young kid like JJ McCarthy, getting so much of that on his plate this year, that I feel like for him to survive everything that he's been through this year, all of the talk, all of the hate that he's endured, that it's only going to make him stronger mentally as a player. And he really got to live through a lot of those experiences in a short amount of time, that it's kind of, I think it gets overlooked, right? That these guys are still human. They're still going through the experiences of a life no different than the rest of us, and then being expected to go out there and perform at the highest level, which I'm not excusing the expectation either, but I think there's some personal, human aspects that get lost in the shuffle for fans, especially.
Yeah, and it all starts with this age. I feel like we tend to forget how young he actually is, just because of where he was picked in the draft and the expectations, and then you go into the year, going into the year, and then him and his girl, they end up having the baby Rome, and he went through just a roller coaster of emotions this year, the highs and the lows. But it was, I feel like, a good thing for him, because he learned real quick, like, you have to play to a certain standard, or else people are going to start coming at you, and they're going to come at you quick. And when, you're coming from the Michigan to Minnesota, that spotlight is just that much bigger. Everything's magnified that much more. So if the fans turn on you, you're going to hear it, and it's going to bother you. So, this is going to make him stronger. It's, going to definitely make him give that extra effort, so he doesn't hear it from the fans. I'm pretty sure he wants to go back to everybody calling him 9, but for now it's just JJ.
All right, and B did some research and said they are not expecting a new baby. So
Thank you,
once
Big
more,
B.
there's so many fake stories out there, and that's why we have B to kind of vet everything that we bring on the show beforehand. Now, I've already learned my lesson this year. Yep, especially thanks, B.
Yeah, thanks, Big B.
Yeah, well, and we miss you, brother. I know you're watching it and you're always a part of the show, but we always love having you on. And I appreciate the invitation onto the Coast to Coast kind of season-ending playoff preview show coming up this Wednesday, 10 p.m., 10:30 Central Time, I do believe. So I'll be on with B and the rest of the gang over at Coast to Coast Entertainment, who, Cody, I'm sure you know well from your time going on and doing your coach's show over there.
Yeah, you know, you guys, you and Big B, one of the first networks to allow me a chance to, you know, expand the brand of the St. Paul Bears and my personal brand. And, you know, they do good work over there. You do good work, and you guys are good people. So it just is a perfect match.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it. And I actually have to do some homework now because they talk a lot more about the league in a broader sense. And while I watch some, I'm a busy man. I don't have a ton of time to dedicate to it, but I'm going to be doing some homework. I was tuning in last night. My wife bowls in a league on Saturday. So we were in, and that Seattle-San Francisco game was on. And I don't know how you're not picking Seattle as your favorite right now going into the postseason. Just dominant. And when they put Sam Darnold in a position that he just has to go out and to execute at a mediocre level, essentially, right? You have that great running game, and he just has to go out and kind of do his job and to not be Superman. You can see how effective he can be in that role. That defense in Seattle is crazy, man. They made San Francisco, who I watched put up 40 plus points on the Bears, who are one of the top defenses in the league, on Sunday Night Football a few weeks ago. And they made that offense look completely pedestrian, held them to 3 points. I mean, just crazy. The obviously the interception right there in the red zone, right at the goal line, essentially. Christian McCaffrey, the ball gets tipped at the line. It kind of bobbles through McCaffrey's arms, but the awareness and the Seattle defender just kind of wrapping that ball up, getting 2 feet in and crashing, like that was such a pivotal moment. And if that team can continue to do that, I don't know how you're not looking at Seattle raising the Lombardi Trophy come February.
I mean, with the defense like that, defense wins championships. You hear it all the time. And Sam Darnold, he, like you said, they put him in a position to succeed. They put him in a position that plays off his strengths, and he can just have a mediocre game, an average game, and they're going to be just fine. This might be defense will pull them all the way through.
Well, and you know what? That's a little bit of what kind of sank us last year towards the end of the season. And maybe that's a reason that Sam doesn't want to come back, because of the O'Connell philosophy that we saw kind of take a hit to its reputation through the middle part of this season, right? Like, you can't expect these quarterbacks to just have to put everything on their shoulders and then to have to deal with the backlash of it and tarnish their name when the guy forgets that you can run the ball, right? And you see in Seattle what they're doing there, leaning on that two-headed monster. Charbonnet's touchdown run was just grown man football, right? Get out there, jumbo package, block it up, and then the running back doing his job, making a guy kind of miss and powering his way into the end zone. And you just don't see that from the Vikings offense like you hoped you would. I know a lot of Vikings fans are looking at and you'll have to remind me, I know you're really high on the kid from Notre Dame, the running back.
Jeremiah Love.
Right. Well, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to draft somebody like that, because you would have to use that first pick, our first round pick to do that. If you have a coach that won't commit to giving that man the rock and running the football. And I know that, our running game today with, the Vikings is going to take a little bit of hit with Aaron Jones being out. And what a soldier that guy is, man. To tough through what he's toughed through the last few weeks, you could tell he's been hurt and hasn't been 100%, but also looking behind him and realizing that, like, if it's not him, then who? Right? Because you had injuries to Jordan Mason as well. And to keep showing up out there for his team to give us a chance to win, I mean, super commendable. And unfortunately, with his contract situation, you know, you never know what's going to happen. He's got quite a cap hit. He may become a cap casualty. If if things play out that way, it would be a shame to kind of see someone who's such a leader in the way that he approaches the game, right? It's not what he says. It's the way that he shows up for his team that really makes him a true leader.
I mean, poor our quarterbacks. Sam didn't want to come back because of the way KOC ran things and how his mentality was. And for our quarterbacks this year, I mean, KOC's almost at the mentality of, I could throw anybody out there. Whatever happens is going to be on them, and the backlash is going to be on them and not me. And I mean, poor Max Brosmer, that dude really got, just thrown out to the wolves, fed to the sharks, whatever you want to use. And, did that completely ruin his NFL career? Those 2 games, those 3 games that he played at.
It didn't help him. That's for sure.
4 interceptions in the first start. Like that's almost Nathan Peterman stats.
Yeah, real
and then
bad.
He threw like 6 interceptions one game.
Jer says in his last mock draft he did, the Vikings traded with him for Love at running back. So I don't know what that trade consisted of in that. And I'm assuming now that, the Lions have moved above the Vikings in their draft order, especially if we win today and Detroit loses, that changes all of that. Although I'm pretty sure at this point that playoff seating is pretty much set at this point, I think, from 15th from 17th. So traded up a couple of picks. Of course, these are just mock drafts put together by algorithms and things like that. So nothing saying that that's not what they're going to do. I would much rather see this, I think. He says they got the left tackle from Miami. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that we need a left tackle, but we need some help on the offensive line with what we saw these near things. So it's all good.
I always say that we need offensive line, and then we'll get something shiny that looks good, and then an injury might happen, trade or release or something just out of the blue, and then we're back to what about our offensive line? It's like, is this the draft? We're actually going to take care of that issue and not try to fix it with a Band-Aid, slap on that Band-Aid and grab someone out of free agency, because that hasn't worked.
No, well, and you have no money. So it's hard to do that when your cap situation is what it is. Great time here, I think, to transition to our keys of the game, Coach, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. Well, before we get to that, I'm going to roll a quick hit here and introduce you guys to Vikings United. This is Vikings United, your ultimate destination for everything Minnesota Vikings. Bringing together the most passionate fans, insightful analysts, and dynamic creators from across. So every week, Coach Cody delivers us 3 keys to the game. Today, we may have some interested today. We weren't really sure who was going to be starting at QB, but containing Malik Willis and turning his scrambles into explosives. I don't know if he's going to be starting today or not. Win up front and control the run game. That could be a key every single week and usually is. And the defense and special teams for this Minnesota Vikings team must carry the load. So getting into it, Coach, we're going to start right away with key 1 here, containing the quarterback and not letting him turn scrambles into explosives.
Sounds good. I'm right there with you. I'm not sure if it's going to be Love or Willis for sure, but
it's like Clayton Tooney.
Clayton Tooney. That's right. Well, I mean,
that's what you get for doing your keys a week early.
I know. Look, ain't that some, man? That is. It's just
go
it
do
never
a quick
fails.
Scouting report on Clayton Tooney real quick.
I know nothing about him. I just know, I don't even. He's a rookie, right? I mean, I didn't do much
Moving on
research
to key 2,
on him.
Coach.
Yeah, key to winning up front and controlling the run game. I feel like this is just beating the dead horse. Green Bay can still hit you on the ground. Josh Jacobs, um, he might still be hurt, banged up. Everybody's gonna be hurt. Everybody's not 100%, but he's been dealing with nagging injuries, and so we'll
Yeah, and
have
it
to
says
see if
he
he
was a
comes
full
out.
participant in their practice on Friday. Game
Mhm.
status wasn't announced though, so game time decision whether I'm sure he'll be suited up, but his usage today may be limited just because they can't afford to lose anyone, right? They're
No.
in the playoffs already, so they can't afford to take any hits here as they move forward. So
Yep. And then they couldn't, because Green Bay, they've shown the ability to lean on the run when needed. And if the Vikings don't win on them early downs, it's going to be a long day. Let's see if that Vikings defense comes out and comes up to puts up a challenge. It's battle of third string quarterbacks, second string quarterbacks. JJ McCarthy's going to be out there, but who knows how long he's going to be healthy. So, it's just a toss up game, really. It's still weird that this still could have been massive importance to the playoffs had it just been a couple plays difference going the other way. For Minnesota, the run game must be there. Aaron Jones is going to be out. Chandler's been banged up, so it's gonna be. Chandler's been banged up. Let's see. So we got Scott Mason. He's been banged up in and out. So
Mason was a full participant on Friday, so it looks like he should be a full go.
Perfect.
I mean, he'll obviously be getting the bulk of the carries today.
Mhm. Well, and with our talk about drafting a running back, Jordan Love or Jeremiah Love, this game is going to be an evaluation, a quick one-game evaluation as to who is going to be left over staying in that running back room, because Jones isn't going to be coming back probably, and if he is, it's going to be very, very cheap restructured deal. He might even just hang it up after this year. So we got to figure out something. This is going to be a test. We're going to have to see what we got, and if we don't have anything promising, we're going to have to make a move in the draft because we don't have any money.
Yeah, and for today, it leaves us in a position where, similar to the Christmas Day game, that you had to get creative with your running game, and the biggest play of the game is the Jordan Addison end around that goes for 60+ yards and a touchdown, right? There's the and I wish we would have saw more of that throughout the year. I feel like that's something we saw a lot more of last year, and you just didn't have a lot of it. I feel like the few times they did try, it didn't work. And for Kevin O'Connell as a play caller, once something doesn't work, it goes to the back of the sheet and it never comes back out. Right. And there's very little variation sometimes of that. So yeah, I hope to see a lot of jumbo today. Again, put the 3 tight ends out there and just run the ball, go run the ball, and let JJ get the other JJ the ball, right? Let Jefferson get his today. Put a lot of these things to rest, knock the few things that are left on the list kind of off that list, right? Check the boxes and come out with a W to finish this season and to finish your last 5 games of the season on a huge winning streak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and Jefferson, not having the explosive year that he's used to production-wise with touchdowns and with yards, and unless this game he comes out and blows it up, but the ability to show promise, end up on a winning streak, and show growth in JJ McCarthy, that's going to help just settle down the nerves of Jettas, because we don't need to be messing that up anytime soon. I wish that end around to Addison. I mean, why couldn't you just do a little shovel pass? That's probably how we're going to end up getting the 53 yards at this point.
Something, right? It's got to be something. Make sure that he gets it. I mean, it's really not that big of a feat. You wouldn't think, right? To be able to move him around and to kind of, motion him into the inside role, hit him, let him get in the middle of the field and catch a short in that he can turn into the 53 for himself. Like you said, can't we hit a little shovel pass and let him just use that athletic ability and get there? Any means possible. To me, that's more important than a W right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's number one. And like I said last week, let's just get it done out of the way early. Let's get it done. We don't have to worry about it. If we're going into the fourth quarter and homeboy's at 18, 22, 23 yards, we should start we should start sweating. Like, oh, and if that's the case, I want to see, like, yeah, it's easy to, say the right things, do the right things, but when it's just over and over and over and over again, if he's got 18 yards by fourth quarter, we gonna start to see a dude start to melt down? Because there's only so much harassment a dude can take. Like, let's just be honest.
Well, and Trayvon Diggs got cut by the Cowboys late season. The Packers did pick him up for their playoff run here, which this passing game had a really good day against that Cowboys defense. Now, Jer says line Jetta up wherever Diggs is at QB.
Yeah, I would. I'd go after him. I would go after him.
Find a way. I think that's the big takeaway here. Awesome. Moving on to key 3, which is the highlights of this Vikings team. Defensive special teams must carry the load as they have for most of the season. Had to get a picture up there of our boy Big Leg Whip Bill.
I like that. What'd you call him?
Big Leg Bill. I heard Thor call him Third Leg Bill.
I heard that too. Third Leg Bill. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, defense, special teams, if there's been a bright spot, it's probably if there's been one bright spot, it's probably been our special teams, other than the one meltdown in Chicago. I mean, our punter, our kicker, they're flipping the field. They're, scoring points. They're adding value, more value than the offense has so far this year. That's for sure. I can say that confidently. And this is going to be where Brian Flores earns his money. Can your defense keep it up?
I think he's already earned it. This game, playing against a third string quarterback and everything, this game means nothing to his reputation. I think if the Vikings go out and shit the bed, I don't know that it tarnishes his reputation at all. More so maybe some of the players out there, but third string quarterback, he's going to be bringing the pressure. I'm looking for another, maybe not 6 turnovers, right? But I'm looking for them to at least force a strip sack and to have a couple of picks today, because we know what this defense is capable of against some of the best in the league, right? Jared Goff looked horrible on Christmas.
Yeah, we made him look silly, straight silly. And can we win the turnover battle? Big B, if you're still watching, I'm gonna need you to look up something for me. But our turnover ratio, I know it was looking just god awful ugly there for a minute, but last few games, I mean, it's not like we've been getting just a couple, we've been getting a handful. So, can that number come up and maybe even turn it around? Can our players continue to play fast, aggressive, disciplined, trusting of the teammates? You mentioned Aaron Jones being just that dude and playing while being hurt, knowing that there's nobody really behind him that can help add value. That's where you can see a football player that loves the game, truly finds passion in the game, compared to someone who's just in it for the paycheck. I mean, if you're missing games just because you got a cough and a couple hiccups, you should probably get released, but just dealt with outside of the facility. we live in Minnesota. I got friends and family that have season tickets to Jacksonville Jaguars games. If they're going to be coming from Minnesota to Jacksonville, whoever they're going to watch, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, they better be playing in that game. So let's see if the defense just plays. We're probably going to, hopefully with the Flores defense, we're going to take that over and maybe add in a couple depth players to see what else we got. I mean, it's the last game of the season, contracts coming up. You got to get something on tape, whether it's to trade for draft capital or, just get players on tape to, get them an opportunity somewhere else.
No, looking up the turnover ratio, we're still -8 after like a +5, +6, I think, last week.
So you're saying there's a chance we could do it.
Just go have another explosive day on the defense and take the ball away on every possession. And you could come out even for the year after the historic mark that they had last year. And it just goes to show you that without a lot changing on the defense. Now, obviously, Heron Smith was a little hobbled at the beginning of the season and those things, but it shows you how much of a difference it can make. And once this defense kind of got healthy, and I don't know if it's necessarily like getting used to their new team and maybe some new assignments with, Jonathan Allen and Hargrave, that this defense came on and finally found where that pressure was going to come from and really turned it on these last few weeks. And I mean, looking ahead, and you kind of hit on it, like the biggest question mark after this game's over is what's the status of Brian Flores, right? And we know that he's going to test the waters of free agency. If they were going to get a deal done, they would have done so already, but we can talk a lot more about that. Let's move on to our player to watch, and that should be pretty obvious for everyone here as well. It's Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, no brainer. Week in and week out, other than I think we had a kicker up there for a couple weeks. Just Jefferson, like we said it earlier, and I can't stress it enough. You have got to get this dude the ball. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care if it's a double reverse pass, a flea flicker. Hopefully the flea flicker works, not like the one Carolina tried yesterday. But get him his yards. Ending the year breaking three records, that's just as good. Yeah, and that too. Go out and have fun, but if Justin Jefferson gets this 53 yards, gets the 1,000 yards, you're gonna see pressure off of everyone's shoulders, especially the KOC, because now he's not. The defense knows that we're gonna go for him. The defense knows we have to go for him. So, unlike any other week, but for some reason, this week just seems, epic in proportion to, previous ones, just because it's his last chance. Who wants to ruin a streak 6 years? Are you kidding me? If I do 5 years doing something and I ruin that streak on the very last game of that 6th season, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upset for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, because there's a chance to break it, right? Like 50-some yards, not insurmountable, right? It'd be different if he was out half the season and he needed to watch, he needed to get 150 yards still, right? Where you're like, fuck, we've barely thrown for 150 yards in our last 12 games. That'd be different. But B says his player to watch is Harrison Smith. Yeah,
I like that. I like that too.
Is the hitman playing his last game, in a Vikings uniform and in the NFL, right? A lot to look at. And I think that gives, and I know he's got a lot of family that are going to be in attendance just for that fact, because I think he's going to take his time and really consider his future around football and what it is. So look for him to show up and have a huge game today. Maybe a couple of sacks and a pick, or a couple of picks to finish off. We know we want to see him get one more and hit that 40 mark. So definitely looking for him to be back there in that center field against a third string UDFA quarterback, right? Like, the kid's going to cough up the ball. It's just a fact of life, I think, unless they don't let him throw the ball a la Max Brosper on Christmas Day, then he's probably going to cough one up. So yeah, definitely in concurrence there with B. We'll be watching the Hitman very closely today.
Yeah, I hope this isn't his last year in the NFL. I hope he doesn't retire. If so, man, he was one of the best to ever do it, and to do it with one team, that is, a feat that not very many people can say. And just to be in the league that many years, playing at a high level, speaks to his ability as a player, his mental as a player and as a man. And if anything, come back for one more year, cheap deal, and just help us add depth, because it's going to take a couple years to mold this roster back into something. To just give us one more. Look at the production that's starting to come. The defense has been turning it around. I mean, if we can keep this momentum going into next year, what?
I would freaking love it.
Oh yes.
How cool would that be?
Would KOC do it though?
You know what? There's really nothing to lose here for this Vikings team. I think that it should be a fairly easy win for them, considering where the Packers are at and who's going to be on the field. Talent-wise, the Vikings should be the favorite, right? And I don't know what the betting lines came out to and if they're taking all of those into it. Hey, well, welcome in, Norsefius. Awesome, man. Yeah, we are relatively new. We started about halfway through the season. The Scene Projects Sports Network. Coach Cody, my name is Bubba Startz, the host here.
What's going on?
We do a pregame show, and then we have our Vikings United. We do every Tuesday at 8 p.m. But just fan show. Big fans here of the team. Coach Cody is a indoor football league coach, so he brings a lot of insights to the game that I think makes us really unique. So thanks for tuning in. If it's your first time, make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow along. And if you'd like to come on and talk ball with us sometime, we're all about bringing in other fans and having conversations, man. That's what it's all about here. We're not trying to talk down to people from some kind of pedestal like we're better or we know more, but we're just talking about this team in more of a tailgate barroom kind of style. So appreciate you tuning in for the first time. A lot of new fans, obviously. We're just starting out here. So yeah, really appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in, Norsefius.
Yeah, no, appreciate it.
Badass name, dude.
Yeah, I was just gonna comment on that too. But were you able to look up a little bit on the quarterback for Green Bay there?
Just that he's a undrafted free agent out of the University of Houston. So came from a small school. I mean, Brian Flores should destroy this kid. It just but it's gonna also be that, on the other sideline that, LaFleur's not a dummy, right? He's not going to put his quarterback in a position to do that. Norsefius, no, I haven't heard of the Vocal Vike channel, but we'll definitely be checking them out. We kind of want to be the home for other creators to come on. You've seen our friend, if you've been watching the show at all, Kneecap Biting Jer has a show on the Detroit Lions. We have some friends that do Packers shows, do Bears shows as well. So kind of focusing mostly on like NFC North, but our co-host Brandon Herrara, Big B, he has the Coast to Coast entertainment network that he's a part of, and they talk more general football stuff. So yeah, man, a lot of great things to come. Appreciate you subbing to the channel and checking us out today. We really appreciate all the new fans. So I mean, I don't know how much information is going to be out there on, I can't even remember the kid's name, to be perfectly honest. There's so many storylines inside of this Vikings team that have really gotten the headlines and attention. Nobody's even really concerned about the game because it has no relevance on the grander scale playoffs or any of those kind of things. that we've kind of tuned out from that, right? And it's become all about the very Viking-centric headlines. Is this Harrison Smith's last game? Is this Brian Flores' last game here? Aaron Jones, TJ Hawkinson, right? I mean, he could be a cap casualty with as much money as he's got on the books right now, which we hope not, as Pillars of Valor go, that he stays on the team and helps us out. And always shout out to our sponsors, Pillars of Valor Coffee, of which Hawk is a co-owner. We're really got a lot to watch for today. And it's going to be bittersweet out there on the field because of the way this season has gone.
Right. No, it's sad that it's coming to an end like this. I wish that it sucks that we only have 18 weeks of NFL football. I wonder who's going to be a cap casualty. It might be It might be Hawkinson. I mean, his production hasn't really been there. I don't know. How are we going to be able to bring in another quarterback to compete with JJ McCarthy? Will it be through the draft, or can we make something happen with Lamar Jackson? I would like Lamar Jackson over Joe Burrow. That's for sure.
Hey, appreciate your service, Norse Fies. Operation Combating Veteran Suicide. I am the marketing and PR director of that organization, founded by Mrs. South Dakota International. That's where I live, is here in South Dakota. So not too far away from the Minnesota border.
I'll be right back.
You're good. I'll kind of talk with our fans here. And obviously, veterans mean everything to us. We appreciate your service and all of theirs. And it's a big reason why Pillars of Valor is a sponsor of our programming as well. We connected on that. So every bag of coffee that is sold from there, money is going back into veteran programs in and around the Minneapolis area. So huge shout out to Zach and that. Yeah, Northwest, I agree, man. I don't know what their move is. I really don't want to see this team trade draft capital to bring in someone who you're going to put in a competition. To me, that doesn't make sense. I think what's more likely is that you kind of see what's on the scrap heap, per se, as you get into like the post-January or July 1st cuts, right? As you're moving into training camp and that area, to see who the surprise cuts are because of the draft and who's come on to these other teams as well. So we're kind of wait and see. I'm not huge on the Burrow. I think the price is just going to be too high to do something like that. What you give up ends up tanking the team for the next several seasons. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. Lamar Jackson, I don't know that he's a real scheme fit for what KOC likes to do. A tremendous talent, right? But any of the trades to me kind of seem like they're off the table. You have 10 picks in this year's draft. You have to make those work. And for me, that's why, our first free agent acquisition has to be B-Flow. We got to figure out what's going there, because if we don't have B-Flow moving into the 26-27 season, you're talking about a lot more problems, right? If you lose B-Flow and Harrison Smith, this team might be headed for a rebuild anyway. And on the defensive side, where you've been so solid. And I totally agree with you, man. Trading the boatloads of picks and all the draft capital that you're going to go for a guy who, if McGlass and JJ is getting that moniker now because he's always injured, Burrow has been injured more than the young JJ McCarthy has. And I think you've watched McCarthy battle back from the ankle injury. I think he got kept out even a little bit longer this year and was probably ready to come back sooner, but KOC's keeping him out because of some of the mechanic issues and some of those other things. I see that ankle injury is also kind of a soft benching, while you had Carson Wentz, who was out there kind of performing. Right. And I'm not going to say that they're off the table, B. I just, the Burrow package to me is insane. Even the Mac Jones, if it's going to cost you a first rounder or, a second and a third to get a Mac Jones, I think I'm kind of out on that because there's a chance that he comes in and JJ McCarthy beats him out in a competition. So for me, what I'm saying is I'm against the trade for bringing in a guy that is a competition. And I'm really against the mortgaging of your next 4 years worth of first round draft picks to bring in a guy like a Stafford or a Burrow who come with their own question marks, right? Stafford, yes, he's played at a high level, but you're going to be bringing him in to a whole new team and trying to kind of catch lightning in a bottle for a year or two. Are you willing to punt on 4 more drafts to do that? Burrow, who has a lot more tread left on the tire, I would be more into that than like a Stafford trade, but at what cost? And I think there has to be that cost benefit analysis in there where, to me, you made that cost benefit analysis when you drafted JJ number 10 overall. And you said, we're going to move in a different direction as a team. That's not to say that you're going in and not finding competition. It's, to me, where the competition comes from. This team's got a lot of holes moving into next season, especially if you are losing Brian Flores, Harrison Smith on that defense, Jonathan Allen may be a cap casualty. Like, you got a lot of holes to fill on this team that you can't just go out and trade all the draft capital away, but also you have to be confident in the man making the picks. And that speaks to a larger organizational, structure and who's making these picks. If they're not going to fire Kwesi, are they reorganizing, who is the head of your scouting? At this point, all the scouting's been done for the year, right? If you had a problem seated inside of that, scouting department, that you have, you have bigger problems. Danielle, my wife, chiming in. Coach doesn't have his red Solo cup. The red Solo cup equals a win. I don't know if it's what's inside of the cup that counts or if it's just the cup. I'm not sure.
It's just the cup. Just the cup. It's got to be just the cup.
And yeah, Shelly, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Lady Persia, congratulations to you all on a great season of giving back to the community of Vikings fans. What you and Marcus have done with the calendars this year and with everything else that you've done, the joy that you've brought in to fans with the face painting at the tailgates, myself included. I need to bring up our graphics so everybody can see the awesome job she did on mine. I was up at the game in October or November rather for the Veterans Day game, the shout out there. So she does face paint for everybody, and just really appreciative of you all. And like I said, the joy that you bring to the fans of this team. I'm so very grateful to call you guys friends and to have you tuning in every week. So, Coach, we're going to have to get your face painted when we go and do this live at the tailgate next year for home games.
You know what? What the heck? I'll do it.
Well, look at you. Look at the fierceness on that face. We need she's very famous for like the lines over the eyes.
Oh, I like that. I like
everybody.
that.
Yeah, it's a great look, man. I went with the McCarthy triangles over here, and look at, she's already saying we got to get you hooked up, and we're really looking forward to. We have some more sponsors that we've been talking with, and I don't want to get ahead of our skis over with that, but we have some people that really believe in what we're doing and are huge Vikings fans as well. So we're looking forward to their support and moving into the next season, where it will allow us to do some more really fun things. Obviously, with me coming from 5 hours away, it's not always easy to get up to Minneapolis for every single home game, but we hope with more support from our sponsors that we'll be able to, maybe help us with those travel costs to come up and have our own booth set up there, whether we're right next to Lady Persia in the tent and doing the pregame show right from there or not. And we get to do that for every home game. We will see, but really looking forward to continuing this coverage and a lot more coverage coming in here. B says, if B, Flo, and Smith don't return, Vikings will need to find a face of the D. Exactly. And I think that's why, that's the most important storylines post-game here is was this it? And I don't think you're going to get any kind of announcement, right? Like Harrison Smith isn't going to come out and retire in a post-game press conference, right? I think he's going to take his time because there hasn't been any formal declaration either way. He's just kind of coming to the end of that contract, and you don't know what's going to happen, right? There's been no extension talks. And the same thing with Flo is that, he's kind of left it on the table. He's betting on himself to go out there and to see what it is. I'm not going to try to speak for the man in any way, but I think that he likes it here. He said that his family likes it here, and he believes in what KOC and him have built, but also, what does that mean, right? What does that mean if somebody's willing to come out and give him $8, $9, $10 million as a head coach? Obviously he's not going to get that kind of money as a coordinator, but can he get $5, $6 million a year to stay here as the, assistant head coach, which Mike Pettin has that title now, and the defensive coordinator, and to continue building and to chase this thing, and I think we kind of talked with it, that KOC's contract runs till 2029. Do you get them in and put them both on the same path, right? To say, hey, we're going to give Flo a 3-year extension, matches with him and KOC. We get that organizational stability. And Coach, maybe you can talk about that. You've been a member of several different organizations now, in the indoor football league and kind of in a lower tier of football. But how important is organizational stability for year-over-year success?
Extremely important. You want to build that rapport, and it's hard to have to build that rapport every single year, bringing in new faces. So when you get to a point where you have a lot of people coming back, less turnover, it makes everything, it's like you're instantly comfortable. You can have those hard conversations right away if you need to. Without having to have that feeling out process, that feeling out point of like, hey, how much can I razz this guy before he really starts to get mad, or, what kind of things make the team just glow and flow and, just be a well-oiled machine. I believe that you hit it right on the head. We have to extend them. It has to match KOC, and that way, they can sit down and be like, okay, here's our 3-year plan, and everybody's on the same page. You get your goals, and then you backtrack it from there. How do we attain those goals? What steps do we have to take? Everything works out. Everything's so much more smooth when you have that ability and been building that rapport year after year.
Do you feel like he's kind of putting the ball back into the Vikings because he's taken his time and has said, hey, we're going to handle this. I'm going to go test the free agent market, that they kind of have to court him in a different way now, where you don't have those exclusive negotiation rights that you did while he was under contract. Now the conversation changes because you have to come at him, as a potential prom date, right? That everyone has a shot now. It's not your girlfriend anymore. She's back out on the open market, and you have to come at B-Flow from a much different point of negotiation. And maybe it's not just money. What do you feel like is the Vikings, and to a greater extent, Kevin O'Connell's pitch to Brian Flores to get him to stick around and to not pursue an opportunity that may be worth more money, but will be if you're going in and taking over a head coaching job, that team's probably not very good and you're rebuilding that. So what is your pitch in juxtaposition of that to say, hey, this is what we've built and all of this process, compared to the other side where he's, B-Flow is going into a complete unknown, whether it's as a defensive coordinator somewhere else or as a head coach?
I think you sell the fact of, you've had success here. The fan base loves you here. The players, the other coaches, staff, everybody loves the guy. And I'd almost give him part control of that defense, personnel wise, in terms of, I know he's having a little bit of say, in terms of who he's eyeing for free agency and stuff like that. But I'd almost just give him the reins and be like, hey, go out and pick them. Go out and pick them. We're not going to ask for your input. You are the input. Like, we're going to be asking you, like, hey, are you sure this is the right move? And like you said, the coaching vacancies that are out there, most likely are going to be bottom of the barrel teams that have more problems than just, one or two positions. They're going to have a number one pick, or you might have a number one pick, top 5, top 10 pick. You got to look at it in the situation, based off needs. Can I use that one first round pick and be good, or do I need to trade that first round pick to get like 3 seconds and 3/3 and try to fill out holes? Plus, I mean, your coaching staff might not even be up to par. So it's a lot. Family is going to be huge. Does his family want to stay here for the long haul?
Yeah. There's just so much that goes into a decision like this, not just for the team. I feel like the team's decision is easier. You want to keep the guy that's been here and has been doing it at a high level. For Beeflo, it's a lot of those unknowns moving into, right? Taking your family, uprooting them, moving to a new city. But his leverage is to go and see how much he's worth on the open market, right? And coming back to the Vikings and going, look, I'm getting offered $10 million to go be the head coach and to get this, and this. I'm willing, because I like it here and because my family likes it here, to take this now, right? And is that $6 million with the assistant head coach title? And are the Vikings willing to give that, wave goodbye to Mike Pettin, who might be on his way out the door anyway with how things are going? I don't really know what his role is. A lot of this stuff, we don't know necessarily what people's roles are inside of the building. They don't need to disclose a lot of that. And is it more control, like you said, of who's coming in and who's being a part of the team? And what's that structure like right now? Because I think there's a little bit of a disconnect, and even just from the quarterback standpoint of like what KOC wants. Is it a matter of like KOC wants more control over front office decisions that are happening? And is there a little bit of a disconnect between, Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell, or the scouting department and the coaching staff, right? Like, these are massive operations and everyone is kind of locked into doing their job. And when you have a head coach who is also the play caller of the offense, right? He's already wearing a couple of hats. How much of that player personnel stuff is he offloading just over into that, personnel department, and then kind of getting to the season and being like, what the am I working with here? Right. So I think there's a lot of organizational. I feel like there's a lot more organizational questions in this offseason than there are like player questions, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a business when you break it down, and make it simple. When you break it down, it is a business. I saw that. Hey, soon in the next 4 years, I promise that. But I hope we can keep him. I hope we can make him happy. I'm interested to see how much attention he garners, and how much money we're talking, because it's not going to be cheap. We're going to have to pay up. Luckily, there's no salary cap for coaches, so we can.
No, and they don't even have to disclose how much he's making now. We're just kind of assuming that he's probably getting, 4.25. We know that. I guess we don't know, maybe, but Vic Fangio in Philadelphia, we think, is the highest paid coordinator at $4.5 million. So it's going to have to be more than that. To me, he has proven that he's worth whatever that dollar amount is. The Wolves ain't broke. That stadium continues to sell out even when the team isn't playing at the highest of levels, right? They're still, have a very dedicated and loyal fan base. To me, if you lose B-Flow, it just like, what are we doing? Right? Like it throws put the quarterback controversy and those questions to the back of the line. Because what the hell are you going to do with a new coaching staff on that defensive side of the ball? Because I don't know if there's anyone that you're like elevating. I don't know who's in the wings underneath B-Flow, because he is the play caller and the one who designed the whole thing, right? I don't know that there's someone necessarily to elevate to any of those roles. So you're looking outside of the organization. Now you're talking about that feeling out process is like, man, that's why it's obvious that he is your number one priority in this offseason, and everything is a domino after that. Like nothing else matters in a similar fashion to like these 53 yards or whatever that Justin Jefferson needs today to get 1,000 matters. Like everything that happens after that is after that. We are focused on this one problem first and getting that done. And it's going to take, I think it's 10 days or something after the season before these talks can even really start. And I don't know if that's like after the Super Bowl is over and the whole season's done, or if it's after our season is finished. I'm a little unclear on some of that stuff, and I'm sure B could fill me in on some of that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. I hope we don't lose him. Honestly, I hope we don't, because I mean, you just look at the past few years, just taking free agents, people that were cast offs and maybe a salary casualty, salary cap casualty, and just kicked off the team, let go, and he was able to grab these guys that some people didn't know, anything
how did
about.
How did you let Nahshon Wright out of the building? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's some serious questions that need to be asked of the personnel department to go, why haven't we been able to develop draft picks? Why have draft picks not worked out here from the last 3 drafts? Why do we not have the coffers full of guys? And why are we needing to go spend the most money in the league to fill out our roster? To me, those are the second things on the docket. Like, get the B-Flow situation figured out, and then a lot of exit interview questions as to why is this happening? Why are we in this position? And who the hell's call was it to get Jeff Okudah?
Yeah, that was, and that's just taking a flyer on a guy just because of where he was drafted. If he wasn't drafted that high, if he was drafted second round, third round, his career might have been done, and he wouldn't have even had a chance with the Vikings. But top first round pick, there's always that chance. There's always that chance with everybody. But with this history, he was on the Lions. We see him twice a year. I didn't see much. He didn't raise my eyebrows, but we needed depth, and I guess that's the best they could do.
Good. So B says coaches can talk about any openings when their season is over. Maybe they're not able to sign for 10 days. For some reason, I have this, I had heard 10 days in here somewhere to where a decision can't be made. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we want to see from this. Obviously the quarterback talk steals the headlines a lot of times, and it's just there's so many more questions on this team. You have to retain B-Flow. If you don't, 2026 might be a tanker of a season, regardless of who's playing quarterback, because this defense looks totally different because he has such a unique structure to the way that he does things. Let's go. K and B slots. Thanks for tuning in, guys. A skull to you. And yeah, let's go. We want
nice.
JJ to show up today. I'm excited. I was going to be really disappointed if this was Max Brosmer against whoever's the third string quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. There's not I'm still watching the game, but I'm not excited. I'm excited now to go in and to watch this game with my wife and to watch McCarthy go out there to prove something to all these people that continue to hate on this kid. I thought even in the beginning of that Giants game before the hand injury, and I think that hand injury had a lot to do with that ball coming out. That ball was out before he got hit. Like, to me, that wasn't a strip sack. If you want to call it a fumble, I thought he got it going forward anyway, but, you know, it ended up not mattering in the game. And I think it gets looked at a lot differently in that situation. But he was showing you the reason you liked him with the legs, the, you know, all of these different things. So, yeah, KMB Slots. Hey, we appreciate you guys tuning in on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel with us. Give us a comment with your prediction for the game today, as far as the score and everything goes. We'd love to put it up here too. Yeah, well, and exactly. These interviews all next week, Norsefius, are going to be huge. There's a lot that we need to disseminate as far as like what were this, because honestly, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, we are one win from being in the playoffs, right? To being in the Packers 7th seed. One game, them just losing one more game changes everything. So it's kind of disappointing to see where it's at, but we've been through a lot this year. You know, the 2 overseas games, nobody stayed over and has played that. This team went through a lot this year, and to come out with a chance today to finish above 500 with everything that's happened is a testament to the culture that you have, to guys like B-Flow and KOC as coaches. 24-13. You know what? I hope they don't even give up 13 points. Third string quarterback. I want to see a shutout today. I'd love to see this defense go out and to shut this damn team out. Would love it if they put up 24 points, man.
Well, and I want us to find a quarterback. I want us to find a quarterback. Let's pass for over 100 yards. I'm wishing the biggest wishes right now because I know it's not going to happen. But I'm just looking at some stats here. That backup quarterback for New Orleans, Shaw or whatever. I mean, this guy, I'm pretty sure was undrafted, and he's throwing for 300, 250, 300 yards, and we can't even bust 60. Like that's
Max, bro. You can't put that. I think JJ was trending in that right direction. His last several games was over the 150 mark, and you were running the ball heavily there. The kid was throwing great throws. Now, a hand injury on his throwing hand. Is he going to be able to rip it today on the deep stuff? Maybe not, but can we complete some of these short passes and allow guys like Addison and Justin Jefferson to do what they do, which is rack up the yak, right? Give us that yards after catch. And to do that, this is the biggest question to me. If you can't keep B-Flow, who is the
negative 21? I wish. I mean, we can go negative yards, so who knows? I wish we could go negative points.
B's question back up. If B-Flow does leave, who do you want to be the replacement? Is it someone on the staff currently? To me, because Flo is so much of the face of that defense in so many ways, I don't know that there's anyone that can step in to fill those shoes on this staff. Honestly, I don't even know who's on his staff, right? Because it's really like B-Flow doing everything. I think you're looking outside of the organization, and I don't know who's out there and available. We'll talk a lot more about that as, you know, Black Monday hits tomorrow and the teams that are not in the playoffs are, you know, handing pink slips to people, and a lot of guys are cleaning out their lockers, not just for the season, but for good. That we'll kind of address that maybe a little bit in Vikings United on Tuesday. Make sure you guys are tuning in for that every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central. We go live on our YouTube channel here with Coach Cody, and Big B is always with us as well. And this is going to be a huge topic of conversation, personnel, and obviously the draft coming up here.
Well, and another thing that I wanted to add to the importance of locking down B-Flow is, we only got prime Justin Jefferson for what, 3-4 years, like in his prime years.
3-year timeline right now, Cody. That's the way I'm looking at it. And the way that I'm structuring Flores' contract is like, let's get everybody on the same timeline to 2029, right? Mm-hmm. And I can't agree with K and B more right now. The drops, Addison's drops alone, change the narrative around JJ McCarthy, right? He probably has 3 more touchdowns. He has a shitload more yards, right? And Jettas too. They've both dropped touchdowns for this guy, man. So it's, the book is not closed on JJ McCarthy. The book is not closed. And there's so many people that punted on this kid freaking 8 weeks ago. And I'm telling you, have a little bit of patience right now. Let this play out. Let him get a full off season where he's not rehabbing an MCL injury, right? Let him get some work with Addison and with JJ, building that chemistry in the off season. We can have hey, you know what? I'm with you guys, dude. I have a lot of faith in this kid. The proven track record of being a champion. I like his attitude. Some people don't like the gritty into the end zone. I freaking loved it. I loved it, man. I want to see more of that, because when this team is performing at a high level, I want somebody that can lead this team and to have a little bit of edge to their game. And even if it is presser after, where he's like, yeah, they told me not to, but it's who I am, and I did it anyway. I like that. I don't like yes men. I don't need Minnesota nice from my quarterback position. I want somebody with freaking balls. I want somebody with a little bit of an attitude. And you need that at the most important position in professional sports. You got to have it.
Oh yeah. And I got faith in I got faith in him. I've looked at it from a different perspective. And I realized that, he was rehabbing still. He didn't have a full year where him and Jettas can go, down to the Florida or Tampa out in Cali and just train and throw routes, run routes, get that chemistry, figure out the small details of hey, defender jumps bites this direction, on this option route, I'm going this way, and just get all of that down all in the off season. It's pivotal that we do this year. If we
didn't even have an opportunity, Justin Jefferson was not participating in training camp this year, right? He was dealing with some stuff. Jordan Addison missed the first 3 games of the year. That's when we look back on this season and when we're out of it now and looking at it from the 10,000 foot view, the fact that we're going to be able to finish this year above 500 with the abomination that the middle of the season was, that Seattle game being the worst of it, right? Which, now you're looking at that Seattle team a little bit differently, I think, now at the end of the season than you were in the middle, because they look legit. After watching them last night, they're legit Super Bowl contenders. I don't have any doubt about it. Sam Darnold be damned at that position. And before you get into a lot of people, why didn't we keep Darnold? Because look, Darnold is doing what he's doing with this team, and that team is doing what they're doing because they're not asking him to go out and throw the ball 40 freaking times a game, right? He's not running a KOC offense out there, and it's probably a big reason why him and his staff, because it sounds like the money was the same, we're looking at it and going, hey, man, we trust the Seattle team to put you in the best light and to not tank the rest of your career. Because his value has only gone up now, right? Mm-hmm. People are looking at him differently because of the system, and system is so important in this league. B had a great comment here too. Like the old little Giants, right? We need that, all that stick 'em on there. Come on, fellas.
Well, and Sam Darnold, good for him. Honestly, good for him. Just turning that whole thing around. I saw a stat on ESPN this morning or last night. I worked overnight shift, so it was from 11 to 7 in that time period. But he's the first quarterback to have back-to-back 14-win seasons. Big B, you're gonna have to double check on that for me, but. From coming from a dude who was seeing ghosts, nobody wanted him, considered almost a bust, to now this. 1 year could be a fluke. 2 years doing the same thing, 14 plus wins. Maybe he finally figured it out.
Yeah, but how long did it take him? Guy's been in the league for 10 plus years, right? Or 8-9 years in the league, and he was the third overall was Darnold, right? I know he was at the top of the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is huge. And that's exactly what we've been talking about with McCarthy and these receivers the whole time. K and B, we're big fans of yours right now. If you had a show, we'd want to come on. I love the support of JJ McCarthy. We appreciate you jumping in the comments with us too. And we're going to have to get you on Vikings United to come and chat with us maybe this Tuesday. So make sure you're following the channel and stick around with us. Find us on Facebook. You can find me and Cody, Bubba Startz on Facebook. Make sure you connect with us. We'd love to be friends and to talk more ball with y'all because I think you're 100% on point here. This is exactly what we've been talking about. Chemistry is not built during the season. You're not going to build chemistry on a walkthroughs on Tuesday, Wednesday, and a couple of full padded practices. It's not going to happen. You need that offseason time. JJ didn't have it because of the injury last year. Jefferson didn't participate in training camp. Addison was suspended, right? Like, you didn't have an opportunity to build that chemistry. You do going into this season. Let's not throw it all and throw the baby away with the bathwater necessarily by going out and like, oh, we got to trade everybody and get Joe Burrow in here and to erase anything, because it's going to be the same thing. You're going to need that chemistry. Now, obviously, Burrow has chemistry with a Justin Jefferson, but not with the rest of the guys on the team, right? Right. And you're probably going to have a new tight end in here this year just because of the oh, sweet. Now we're talking. Let's go. We need a gambling expert on the network. So I love it, man. We're going to talk a lot more with you all off-season. Make sure you're connecting with us because I don't have any money. So I don't gamble a lot, which means I know nothing about the gambling and betting lines and everything. So we would love to have you on and feature you weekly on our show and moving forward. So I'm going to make sure to follow y'all's channel and connect with you guys offline too. So this is so cool, man. Love the community that we're building around. And that's really what Vikings United is all about. It is connecting with other creators. Little backstory on me, K and B, is that I'm the content creator of the year for the Midwest Country Music Organization. Most of the content that I make is centered around music and entertainment in that field. But I'm a huge Vikings fan, a huge sports fan in general. So I started the Scene Project Sports Network to be able to feature that. We're going to do a ton of golf content over the course of the next several months and moving into the summer. We've got some really cool partnerships that I kind of locked in yesterday. So excited about continuing to make content with y'all and to do that. So awesome. Some other comments to get to. B, JJ, Jetta, KOC, B Flow, need to set sail and land right square. I mean, we want to see them all lock in. Like, get everybody on that same timeline and going forward to let's ride this out till 2029. And if at the end of the decade, right, we haven't brought home a Super Bowl, then you blow the whole damn thing up and you start over, I guess would kind of be, my thing. So getting everyone on the same timeline, I think, is really important so that you're not kind of having weird conversations like this and kind of stutter stepping through stuff. I know that we're kind of getting close to the end of the show here. I want to also a musician. Cool. Well, yeah, a lot of overlap. Hey, we love it.
Send me a message. Send me a message when you can, K and B.
Hey, now, what's that? What's that? This is supposed to be your biggest fan, and she's coming out with this. Get out of here, Nicole. Get out of here. All right. So there's 2 weeks out of the season that I know we're not going to be friends.
Yep. Unfortunately, she's a Packer fan. I honestly didn't think she's going to be able to make it. She's at the game right now. So
awesome. Well, have fun.
I'll be there in a little bit.
Appreciate you tuning in from the stadium. It's almost game time. So we're going to get out of here. Back-to-back 14-win seasons for Sam Darnold. I mean, come on. The guy's proven that he can be a game manager type, and you can win with that, right? But he's not going to be the guy that goes out there and plays hero ball a la another playoff team, Caleb Williams, who that team is built. The Bears lose a Caleb Williams and lose that talent and that hero ball essence, they're right back in the dumpster. So you get what you pay for. Sam Darnold plays a much safer brand of ball that you can build a consistent champion around. So it's how do we want to go? And can McCarthy be a blend of that? A guy that can play hero ball, that can he play within that system and to give you 10 plus wins every season? I think if JJ McCarthy starts all 17 games this year, that you are double-digit wins. So a big skull to you too, Marcus Way. Obviously, Picasso joins us weekly for Vikings United as well. Coach, I would be Yeah, we look forward to a K&B. Coach, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about the tryouts you got coming out here. We've mentioned it a couple of times already, but you are the defensive coordinator, assistant head coach as well of the Wyoming Cavalry.
Yep. Yeah. And, we were going to have tryouts on the 28th of December, but then we got hit with 8 inches of snow. So it was smart just to back it up a little bit. Tryouts this Saturday, January 10th at Toka Soccer Center in Burnsville, Minnesota. We'll be indoors. So come on, come all. Looking for dogs, be coming out hungry, looking to compete, aggressive, fast. And just got that dog mentality. We'll be starting our season here pretty quick. Our first game's February 14th, Valentine's Day, out in Wyoming. Gillette, Wyoming is where we play, but I'm looking for defense players, offense players, and looking for a whole team. So if you have what it takes, you think you got what it takes, and you're not going to shy away from competition, bring it. Let's see it. Beat me there. Don't meet me there.
I love it, Coach. We're looking forward to a lot of content around the Cavalry as well. And I just saw that I forget the name of the league, the AIF. Yep. AIF, that you guys just brought in some NFL talent into the front office of the league. So huge announcement there. And that league is going to be something to behold, and a way for collegiate players to continue it, guys that are still chasing that dream. Like we've seen guys come from XFL and make it. We got one on this Vikings team. Jalen Redmond was playing in the XFL or, one of those other leagues just a few years ago, and now is chasing his dream in the NFL. So it's about continuing to play and perform and to improve as a player. And you never know where things are going to take you. Want to shout out again our sponsor, Pillars of Valor. We're so grateful to them and the support they've been giving us. I got my Pillars of Valor hat in the mail this week, so I'll be rocking this during the game today. Coach, I'll be making sure that we get this. I'll text Zach after the game today and let him know, give him your address and make sure that he gets you some of this amazing coffee. I got a bag here on display, so make sure you guys are drinking Pillars of Valor coffee. Find them at pillarsofvalor.com. Every bag supports veteran causes. We absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. A lot of new fans today. Shout out to Norse Fies, great name, by the way, man, killer. And then KMB Slots. We hope you do. Can't wait to make some content with you guys and continuing to do that. Shout out to Shelly and Marcus for tuning in with us always. My wife Danielle, I'm sure, is still watching as well. Let's go get this W today. Let's get it done, man. Let's go prove that these wins over the course of the season weren't a fluke, and go prove that this Vikings team is going to have something to prove in the 2026 season as we've flipped the calendar now, and a lot to go out there and play for still. So, Coach, freaking love you, man. This has been so awesome getting to do this pregame show with you, and obviously Vikings United as well. But any final thoughts as we sign off today?
Let's get Justin Jefferson to 1,000 yards. Let's get this dub, and let's go to bed with a nice border battle victory.
I love it. All right, Coach. Well, you have a great game. I'm sure you're probably working and as you always are. But to everyone who tuned in with us, thank you so much. Skol Vikings, and let's get that dub today.
Have a good one, man. Skol.
Hey, this is Bubba Startz with the Scene Project Sports Network. We're out here today at Tatanka Golf Club. I wanted to give a huge shout out to them, course manager Troy, for letting us get on the course today. We're going to start off the day on 10 and shoot some great content, so stick around and stay tuned for a great day of golf.
hard to be disappointed when you're out here playing. It's been a thrilling day. We got out of there with a par, and I'm not sad about it. A shout out to Tonka Golf Club and Troy down there at the clubhouse for having us. I really appreciate the opportunity to come golf this beautiful course. It's been on my list to do for quite some time, and I really appreciate the opportunity, Troy. So thank you to you, thank you to Tonka, and a big shout out to the grounds crew. This place is amazing.
This is Vikings United, your ultimate destination for everything Minnesota Vikings. Bringing together the most passionate fans, insightful analysts, and dynamic creators from across Skull Nation. Get ready for deep dives, spirited debates, and exclusive insights from Coach Cody. We're celebrating our community, honoring our heroes, and fueling your fandom with Pillars of Valor coffee. This is more than a show. It's a movement. This is Vikings United.